Welcome once again to Noir Alley. I'm your host, Eddie Muller, coming to you this week from inside the majestic Grand Lake Theater in Oakland, California. It's nice to get out of the house once in a while. And wouldn't we all like to be watching today's movie, Macao, a 1952 offering from RKO, in a majestic movie palace like this one? This place opened in 1926, and it could very well have shown Macao on the movie's first release in April 1952. I didn't have time to research it, but I'm sure some loyal and intrepid viewers will look it up and let me know. Noir Alley viewers have many times heard me refer to RKO Radio Pictures as the House of Noir, and that was especially true during the time Dory Sherry was head of production, a tenure that lasted only one brief but exceptional year, from 1947 to 48, when he spearheaded significant films like the noir classics Crossfire and Out of the Past, and fostered the careers of filmmakers such as Nicholas Ray and Joseph Losey. But when Howard Hughes bought the studio in 1948, he and Sherry had a clash of movie-making philosophies. Sherry preferred modestly budgeted movies with a social conscience, while Hughes favored escapist adventures with lots of sex appeal. Sherry moved to MGM rather than work for Hughes. One good aspect of Hughes's erratic stewardship is that it opened the door to fresh talent trying to gain a foothold in the industry. Macao was a project brought to RKO by writer Stanley Rubin, a UCLA graduate who'd been writing B pictures since 1940. Rubin had just won the first Emmy Award ever presented for writing an episode of the TV series Your Showtime. And he was hoping to parlay his Macao script, written expressly for Hughes' favorites Robert Mitchum and Jane Russell, into his first feature as a producer. Hughes bought the screenplay, but decided the 32-year-old Rubin was too inexperienced to manage such a large-scale production and such big stars. Instead, Hughes chose veteran producer Sam Bischoff to shepherd the show, and he decided to hire a veteran director in his cups. Joseph von Sternberg had established himself in the transitional period between silent films and talking pictures as one of the most visionary directors in the cinema. His flair for sensuous exoticism was displayed in classics like The Blue Angel, Blonde Venus, Shanghai Express, and The Scarlet Empress, all made with his artistic muse, Marlene Dietrich. But by the 1940s, von Sternberg's glory days were long gone. He blamed the Philistines who ran Hollywood, while those Philistines, along with many talented and intelligent craftspeople, loathed working with von Sternberg due to the director's arrogant and condescending manner. By 1950, Howard Hughes, who never really interacted with anyone, was the only executive in town who'd hire von Sternberg in the hope of recapturing some of the director's visual genius for pennies on the dollar. Macao, a project steeped in the exotica of the mysterious Orient, seemed like a perfect fit. But von Sternberg was not the perfect fit for the leading man, who bristled at the director's high-handed attitude. When von Sternberg decreed a strict no food, no drink policy on the set, Mitchum responded by bringing in a picnic for the entire cast and crew, including flasks of vodka. Outraged, von Sternberg told Mitchum he could be replaced. And the studio's biggest box office attraction laughed in the director's face and said, Joe, I think you got it backwards. Sure enough, von Sternberg was replaced by Nicholas Ray, who didn't really try to imitate von Sternberg's distinctive style. If all this sounds familiar, that's because the exact same thing happened on another Hughes film I recently showed, The Racket, made a year prior to Macao. Before Hughes was finished tinkering with this movie, Robert Stevenson and Mel Ferrar would also be brought in to direct additional scenes Hughes felt necessary to perfect the film. By the time Macao was finally finished, 6 additional writers had contributed to Stanley Rubin's first draft. Not that Rubin was upset. To compensate for having this project snatched from him, Hughes let Rubin produce, on his own, a B picture called The Narrow Margin, which ended up launching Rubin on a long and illustrious career that stretched into the 1990s, featuring the sexy yin and yang chemistry of Robert Mitchum and Jane Russell, and co-starring William Bendix, Thomas Gomez, Brad Dexter, and noir favorite Gloria Graham. Here is Macao.